The Maverick is a flying car. That means that it's primarily a car, but it flies. You know, there have been flying cars tried before, but everybody kept saying, yeah, they fly, but they really don't drive. So we drove the Maverick from Central Florida down Dunellen by Ocala, south of Gainesville, all the way up here to Oshkosh. The reactions from people every time we stopped, I mean, a fuel stop took us minimum of an hour because people had just come out of the woodwork, stopping. Nobody was moving through the gas stations because they've just never seen a propeller on a car. But I think everybody has been in a traffic jam and thought, man, if this thing would just fly. So they see this and they do a double take. Wait a minute, is that what I've been dreaming about? And yeah, it is. It flies.
First flying car I've ever seen, actually.
I love it.
Me too.
So how does it actually take off, though? I mean,
the wing is right up here.
yeah.
You unzip that. It's got a spar. We've got a mast. We took the mast off. The mast goes up 27 feet, pulls the wing up, hit 40 miles an hour, and takes off.
Really?
You steer it in the air with the steering wheel just like you do on the ground. You accelerate in the air, you go up, you decelerate, you come down. So when you want to land, you line it up with where you want to land, decelerate, let it come down. Just before you hit, you just accelerate a little bit, land, stow the chute, and off you go. And anybody that can drive an automatic transmission car can fly it.
It's almost like Wright Brothers wing warping.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Oh yeah, it's like you fly a parachute.
It's like the Wright Brothers.
You pull down one side of the parachute, it turns.
Exactly.
Or you pull down the rear end of both, and then it flares to land.
Yeah, right.
When you're flying, the pole stays up. I know it's up there to hold the chute open enough.
But it's not structural in flight.
In flight.
No, in flight it's not structural. But we leave it up now. You could pull it down, but you know, at 40 miles an hour, the drag isn't that big. And by having it up, you can make multiple landings and takeoffs, and you can handle crosswinds, which you can't do if you don't have a chute deployment system.
Okay.
The Maverick has one engine and two drive systems. You can shift it right back by the propeller. You shift it either into propeller drive or into transaxle drive. Transaxle drive would obviously be for driving it on the ground. And the propeller has three uses: when you're flying, when you're on the water with pontoons, or when you're on the ice and snow. It'll really go. Okay, now take a guess. 0 to 60, how long?
Oh, with that little engine, 20 seconds.
3.9 seconds.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding. Now it's relatively slow in flight, unless of course the alternative is sitting in traffic jam. 40 miles,
slow?
40 miles an hour in the air.
Well, I would take 40 miles an hour on a traffic jam
But
day
now
times.
now on the road, it really goes. We don't know how fast yet, but we know it's more than 95 miles an hour.
What kind of gas mileage you getting?
25 to 30
Wow.
on the highway.
That's fantastic.
Is the FAA ever going to let you do this outside of an airport, or you're always going to have to land and take off at airports?
No, helicopters. I mean, if you have a field, you can land in your field. It doesn't make it an airport.
What is your landing distance?
Landing and takeoff is both the same. Let's put it this way: a football field, and you can clear the stanchions. You know, this vehicle can be used for border patrol, for pipeline flying, for looking for oil slicks out in the Gulf. Put it on pontoons, search and rescue. It fly to Walmart when the traffic is heavy. But our primary intention for this, and the reason that we've spent the years that we have developing it, is in places where there are no doctors, there are no nurses, there's no hospital. If you get sick, you will die. My dad was one of the first pilots with Mission Aviation Fellowship, but he was killed when I was a little boy down in the jungles along with 4 friends, and then the tribe that killed him adopted me. So I grew up down there and
in the Brazilian jungles.
Ecuador.
Yeah.
You know
Jim Elliott.
Jim Elliott.
Nate Saint. Nate Saint was my dad.
Wow. Honored to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Wow. So it was the Waorani, it was the people that killed my dad that told me, hey, we need to be able to fly. They call it the Ebobia, the wood-bee thing. We have big jungle wood-bees that sound like an airplane when they're flying, so they call this the wood-bee. What we want to do is we want to develop a commercial market and sell it to people up here for whatever they want to do with it, so that we can get the quantity, the quantity up, so that we can get the cost down, so that we can serve the humanitarian missions market that is our primary market.
That is neat. That's neat. Gotta get me one of them.
I always wanted to fly.